We have an update on Saraya's in-ring future, plus multiple AEW stars missed Dynamite last night. We'll get into that. And a huge title match has been announced for a future episode of Dynamite. We'll get into that in the wrestling news right now. Well, not that particular story right now.
Right now?
That's in a bit, that one. That little one's in a bit. We are going to talk about Saraya, though. Thoughts on Saraya's comeback in AEW, Andrew?
Exciting last week, obviously, when she came back. Everybody went mental, and then she was like, my house, this? It's my house! And everyone just erupted. It was really cool to see. Last night, perhaps not given enough time to be on the mic to really make a bit of a statement, perhaps. I know online there's been some sort of negativity about stuff that she said here and there, but all in all, I don't think we've seen enough of her yet to make a very definitive opinion.
There were a few little bits that we heard from her, obviously saying that she now owns the property, which in this climate is impressive. Wow. House prices are ridiculous. But we had a little bit between her and Britt Baker. Mm-hmm. Baker making some comments about putting her neck on the line for AEW. Yours couldn't handle it because it's not strong enough. Ooh, got you. Calling Saraya nothing but a catchphrase in the process as well. And this all kind of bled into Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm because Saraya had brought the babyface women's division out and Britt Baker brought the heel women's division out. Interestingly, when they said let's bring out the women's division of AEW, Willow Nightingale was amongst them.
Yeah, she wasn't she?
Now, I don't remember hearing that she'd signed, but
not
that's surely an indicator that she's on board.
You'd assume so.
Good get if that is the case. And all of this led to Serena Deeb versus Toni Storm for the interim women's title, which was, according to Saraya, now a lumberjack match.
Yeah, everybody was outside surrounding the ring whilst this was all going down.
Well, not everyone. Because Saraya was on commentary.
I thought she was like, I thought she announced the lumberjack match and was like, right, I'm off, I'll see you in a bit. But then she went to commentary, didn't she?
But that in itself continues to ask the question, is she all right to wrestle? Is she fit to go? Is she going to wrestle in AEW? Fightful Select have shed a little bit of light on this and got some details on her AEW deal, haven't they, Andy?
They have. So sources familiar with the situation tell Fightful Select that Saraya has agreed to a 3-year contract with AEW. We are not sure if there are option years at play, as is often the case with AEW. However, we're told for the amount of money it was signed for, that largely implies that she'll be wrestling in some capacity.
Now, that'll be interesting to see whether or not, like, if she has signed for a lot of money to do a non-wrestling role.
Yes. I feel like it could potentially be a deal in which maybe she doesn't wrestle too many matches, so the matches aren't necessarily on the regular, but we get them in some, like, you know, special capacity, maybe at pay-per-views or special Dynamite shows.
She becomes a sort of special attraction.
Yeah.
But that bit, we're gonna have to suck it and see on that one and see where that lands. I would hope that for them bringing her in, that Tony's brought her in with the mindset of, even as you say, even being like a special attraction wrestler, wrestling in some capacity. I would say I'd hope to see that, as long as she's obviously healthy enough to do so. It was an interesting Dynamite last night. A few people made the comment that it was a bit sports entertaining.
What? You mean at the start with all the Quality Street in the ring, Tom? All that purple up your nurple. There was a few people that said that. I mean, it was a fun enough show of Dynamite, and it was very badly affected by acts of God. In this case, Hurricane Ian, which is on its way through Florida. Just had a message from my mum and dad who are out there at the moment. Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're fine.
Are they okay?
Yeah, they're fine.
Good.
They're hunkering down with locally sourced chicken and beer, so they're fine.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, and if you're in Florida as well, we hope you're okay. We hope everything's good with you, because we see pictures of it on the news, and it's a rough old time, you know, living through there. So all the best to you if you're out there, and we send our bestest. It did play havoc with Dynamite's plans last night. Tony Khan had said previously that if you can't make it to the show, then don't worry, we'll catch you next week. It meant that Swerve Strickland missed out. He couldn't travel to the event. Keith was there, working backstage, did a bit with the Acclaimed. We saw him there.
We did. It's National Scissor Day, Scissor Me Day next week as well. Fantastic. I'm happy about that.
Never run with scissors. Also, Samoa Joe was set to be a part of the show. It was a show that's very ROH heavy. So Samoa Joe was the TV champion and Ring of Honor legend, was conspicuous by his absence, but again, mitigating circumstances coming into play for that one. There was a huge bit of Ring of Honor title action, which we're going to get to in a second. But before we do,
yes,
talk Bobby Fish.
We're going to talk Bobby Fish. So Bobby Fish, do you want me to get in? I'll get into it.
You get into this one. And we've talked a bit about Bobby and some of the stuff that he's... that has been apparently allegedly said.
Yes.
And he's put some of these rumours to bed.
He certainly has. So Bobby Fish on the Undisputed podcast responded, as we said, to the rumours that claimed he asked Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to leave AEW. He said, because guess what, boys? Over 25 years or something like that in the wrestling business, I don't know how a contract works myself. Fish obviously being sarcastic there. If there's anybody who knows that it's totally fabricated information, then it would be me, Adam, Kyle, Hunter, the people that it's talking about who didn't do any of the things. So none of it is real, and even people like Jim Cornette picked up on it and commented on it, and Jim and I have always had a great relationship. If I'm being honest, Jim hurt my feelings a little bit by believing some bull plops about me so easily, but yeah, it is what it is. And I think that's what sucks most about it, is that these people who write this stuff, there's no checks and balances, there's no ramifications when you're in the wrong. Therefore, they continue to just write whatever it is they're gonna write, and it gets picked up by whomever, and then it becomes the facto fiction line really doesn't matter, so the whole thing is just absurd.
Now, we, among many other platforms, picked up on the story from Fightful that said that there had been some speculation that Bobby Fish was trying to, will the other lads to get back over his way. And obviously it was something that we talked about, so it's only right that when Bobby Fish puts out the retraction and addresses these rumours and calls them absurd, that we talk about them here, which is exactly what we're doing. Intrigued to see what Bobby Fish does now as part of Impact Wrestling. While I was away, he turned up in Impact. And it kind of got a bit ridiculed online from what I saw.
It did. I guess maybe perhaps people didn't see it as sort of like the big moment that maybe Fish was hoping it would be, or it didn't have the same impact as maybe, if someone else from the Undisputed Elite would have branched off and gone to another company, perhaps.
Maybe. But either way, best of Bobby Fish.
Absolutely, yeah.
Finding his own, finding the new sound and beating to his own drum. Now let's go back to AEW Dynamite from last night, our main event. Jericho and Bandido for the ROH title.
Very good match. Jericho's been on form recently, I think, with his matches. Yeah. He's been really, really good. Really, really got himself involved in these physical bouts. And I think for a long time we were kind of like, he's past it now, Jericho's past it. Just don't do all this stuff that you're doing. But I think he's turned it around recently. And obviously it's the people that he's in the ring with too that help do that and bring that out of him. But I've been really impressed recently by him.
I really love what he's been doing, and I like I don't know whether you guys covered it while I was on me Ollie Bobs, but I know that Jericho getting the Ring of Honor title made people go a bit,
yeah.
But the idea being that having somebody with the gravitas of a Chris Jericho at the top of that brand would help facilitate a television deal probably a little bit quicker than Claudio would, and that's no disrespect to Claudio.
No,
and that continues to be the case because Jericho cut a blinder of a promo after Dynamite last night, saying he was going to desecrate the legacy of ROH and destroy everything Ring of Honor, including the wrestlers, the referees, the commentators, and the ring announcers.
Oh, wow.
Bobby Cruise got a Judas effect.
He did, right? And he's all mush.
Can't mess with Bobby Cruise.
Can't.
Before wiping out Bobby, Jericho challenged Bryan Danielson to an ROH title match. That's going to take place on a future episode of Dynamite, October the 12th, to be exact, as part of the Ring of Jericho mission to beat every former ROH champion. We are going to get a belter of a match in the process.
We absolutely are. And obviously with Daniel Garcia just in the fold of this as well, it's really exciting to see what's going to happen. Jericho's got not that much time if he wants to beat every former Ring of Honor champion. And I was looking through some of the stuff and I was like, who else would I like to see? If Jericho, say Jericho does beat Bryan Danielson, right? Who else have we got? And I was like, I'm not too sure. And then we haven't seen Adam Cole in a little while on AEW TV. That might be quite an interesting little program to be had between him and Chris Jericho. Something for him to do when he comes back as well.
I like that.
But part of me really does want to see Bryan Danielson win though as well.
What about old Be Ready?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, low-key could come in and just upset everybody. Hey, what about CM Punk? We haven't seen him wrestling in a while.
That's
CM
another
Punk come
one.
back and...
If it continues for a long time, and after we've been like, he might just sit out his contract, and then he does come back, imagine.
Austin Air? No.
Come on. Christopher Daniels.
There's plenty. Christopher Daniels!
Yeah.
That's it in the Commander gimmick. That'd be great fun. That'd be good. So, there are lots of potential there for Chris Jericho's future opponents.
Yeah.
For the Ring of Honor or Ring of Jericho championship. I hope we get a custom belt out of it.
Oh,
as well.
yeah.
That'd be lovely. For more wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. We haven't done this in a while.
I know. I'm excited.
Kiss.
Love you, bye.